Chapter 1. Childhood Hardships and Trials. Genghis Khan's real name was Temujin. When he was born around 1162, no one expected him to become the man who would later build the greatest empire in history. However, his life was filled with trials early on. His childhood on the Mongolian steppe was marked by a harsh fate. His father, Yezgay, a powerful nomadic tribal chief, was poisoned by the Tatars when Temujin was 9 years old. Due to this sudden misfortune, Temujin's family was abandoned by the tribe and forced to live in poverty. His mother, Horn, supported the family and taught Temujin how to survive after his father's death. But this is not the end of the story. Parts of his life unfold like a tumultuous novel. As his family is cast out and lives in extreme poverty, Temujin learns the art of survival from an early age. Remarkably, he even experienced a struggle with his brothers, culminating in the horrific murder of his elder brother, Bektel. This symbolized the reality of the inevitable power struggles between family members in Mongolia's harsh nomadic society. From an early age, Temujin was forced to survive on his own, and it was during this period that the foundation for his later strong leadership was developed. His youth was also tumultuous. Temujin was even captured one day by the Melito tribe and held as a slave. But this is where his true story begins. While forced to live in captivity, Temujin successfully escaped. His escape has been passed down through the generations as an episode that demonstrates his strong spirit and superior wisdom. Through this experience, he learned the importance of strategic thinking and leadership. Chapter 2. The Road to Empire. A gifted strategist. Genghis Khan was not just a warrior. He was a brilliant strategist and political genius. The process of Temujin's unification of the Mongol tribes was not only based on his military prowess, but also on his skillful strategy and his ability to control people's hearts and minds. First, he drastically changed the structure of Mongol society. Nomadic societies were traditionally ruled by a tribal system based on blood relations, but Temujin destroyed this system, assigning people based on ability and loyalty. In choosing his comrades, he placed more emphasis on individual ability than on origin, and he developed a large number of loyal generals and subordinates. This approach made his army phenomenally powerful. In addition, he engaged in exhaustive psychological warfare to terrorize his enemies. For example, when attacking a city, he used a strategy of terror in which he would advise the city to surrender, and if it refused, he would thoroughly annihilate it. This method became a method of conquering many cities without fighting, and his name became a symbol of fear. On the other hand, he was generous to those who surrendered, and as a result, his fame continued to spread. He also skillfully commanded his cavalry corps to maximize the mobility of his army. The Mongol army dominated the battlefield by moving with overwhelming speed and playing tricks on the enemy. His military strategy included the adoption of flexible tactics and the introduction of new technologies, especially siege techniques and the use of gunpowder learned from the Chinese, which further strengthened his army. What is surprising is the importance he placed on espionage and intelligence gathering. Genghis Khan sent spies to spy on the inner workings of his enemies, and he prepared thoroughly before going to war. These methods were a key factor in his army's constant dominance, proving that he was more than just a warrior. Chapter 3. Tolerance for culture and religion. The Mongol Empire established by Genghis Khan was not just a conquered state. Under his rule, cultural and religious diversity was respected, and interactions within the empire were active. In fact, Genghis Khan himself was a strong supporter of religious tolerance. Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, and Taoists coexisted in his empire. Genghis Khan did not favor any particular religion, but showed respect for the leaders and followers of each religion. In fact, although he himself held to shamanism, a faith unique to Mongolia, he also had a deep understanding of other religions and sometimes adopted their teachings. His tolerance for religion also served him well from a political perspective. By avoiding religious strife, he minimized turmoil within the empire and promoted economic activity and cultural exchange. During his time, cultures and technologies from the East and West were widely transmitted through the Silk Road, and trade became more active. This did not merely mean the prosperity of the Mongol Empire, but was an important turning point in the history of the world. It should be noted that Genghis Khan understood the importance of education and knowledge within the empire. He valued literate people and engineers and took measures to spread their knowledge throughout the empire. During his reign, developments were made in science, astronomy, medicine, architecture, and many other fields that would have a profound impact on later civilizations. Chapter 4. Family and succession conflicts. While Genghis Khan built a vast empire, he was also faced with family problems. In particular, the issue of succession became an important issue that would greatly affect the future of the empire after his death. He had several wives and many children, but his 4 sons, Juchi, Chagatai, Ogadai, and Tului, were the main candidates to succeed him. The eldest son, Juchi, was the most prominent, but his origins were questionable. Juchi was born at a time when Borte was in captivity, and it is said that Genghis Khan himself had doubts about his legitimacy. Eventually, Genghis Khan chose his second son, Ogadai, as his successor, but there was constant conflict among his sons. Chagatai, in particular, had discord with his elder brother Juchi, and there were many occasions when he disobeyed his father's wishes. These domestic disputes later became a factor in the division of the Mongol Empire. Chapter 5. Mystery of the last years. In 1227, Genghis Khan died during his conquest of Western Sumer. However, the cause of his death and his gravesite remain a mystery. According to one theory, he was seriously wounded by a falling horse and died from an infection, but the details are unclear. Many legends have been told about the manner of his burial. It is said that according to Mongolian custom, his tomb was kept top secret, all those who built it were killed, and its location was forever kept secret. Archaeologists and historians have been searching for his tomb for many years but have yet to find it. Even after his death, Genghis Khan remains deeply engraved in people's hearts and his legacy is passed down through history. Chapter 6. Genghis Khan's military innovations and his legacy. One of the factors that contributed to Genghis Khan's success was his military innovations and his masterful strategy. He not only had a powerful army, but also used military tactics that were extremely innovative for the time and had a major impact on subsequent world history. First, the Mongol army was characterized by its incredible mobility. They were a unit that could all ride horses and fight on the move with light equipment. This allowed them to dominate the battlefield with overwhelming speed compared to regular infantry units or heavily armed cavalry. His troops rode across the harsh Mongolian steppes, traveling long distances in short periods of time and taking the enemy by surprise in unexpected places. This mobility made his many victories possible. Moreover, Genghis Khan was extremely skilled in intelligence gathering and espionage. He sent spies to various parts of the country to thoroughly collect information on the enemy and carefully prepare for war. The Mongol army's superior intelligence network was indispensable for securing strategic advantage on the battlefield. Before every battle, they would accurately assess the enemy's weaknesses and capabilities and take the necessary steps. One of his particular strengths was his flexibility in incorporating technology and tactics from other countries. He brought engineers and soldiers from the regions he conquered into his army and used their knowledge to further strengthen his army. For example, he learned gunpowder and siege weapon technology from the Chinese and used it to help him conquer the West. This introduction of technology from other cultures was a factor that kept the Mongol army innovating. Genghis Khan also instituted extremely strict military discipline. His armies operated under discipline and were strictly forbidden from disorderly raids and crimes. Such a disciplined army brought order to the areas he conquered and laid the foundation for long-term imperial stability. Behind his military success was not just his fighting prowess, but his thorough organization and strict governance. And one of the reasons Genghis Khan was most feared was psychological warfare. He utilized thoroughly terrorizing his enemies as part of his tactics. Rumors spread that he would ruthlessly kill them all if they did not surrender, and many cities surrendered without a fight in his name alone. This psychological pressure contributed to the efficiency and speed of his conquests. After Genghis Khan's death, his military innovations were continued by his successors in the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan's legacy extended from Asia to Europe, as his grandson, Kublai Khan, conquered China and founded the Yuan dynasty, and his military influence lasted for centuries. Today's experts in strategy and military history also hold Genghis Khan's tactics and organizational theories in high regard. The innovative military methods and organized style of statecraft he created have had a profound influence on modern military and leadership thinking. Genghis Khan's military legacy is not that of a mere conqueror. He built the Mongol Empire and redrew the map of the world through his military successes. The tactical innovations he brought about are not confined to his time, but live on today. And his name is still spoken of as a genius of the battlefield. Thus, Genghis Khan made his mark in history and had a profound impact on the world. His life tells us that he was not just a conqueror, but a brilliant strategist and leader. His legacy remains in our world in all its cultural, religious, military, and political aspects. How was it? If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.